Today on BladeHQ.com, we are taking a look at the Benchmade 63, brand new, just got it in today. Pretty sweet little blade. Now this is basically a variation on the Benchmade 62 that came out earlier this year. But the big variation here is the Bowie style blade. Check that out, D2 steel, comes very sharp. This is a first production run. Very cool. So we're going to go over the specs on this one, compare it to a couple others. We've got the 62 here, the Benchmade 67, as well as the Microtech Tachyon. We want to kind of throw those together and see how they stack up. A Kimura 7 going down the budget range, as well as a Bear & Sons 114 that I want to throw in here just to kind of get a feel for the range of Balisongs that are out there. So first of all, let's go over the specs on this one and we'll see if we can get this video done in 7 minutes or less. First of all, the overall length on this knife, 9.2 inches. The closed length on it is 5.7 inches. It's got a T-latch right there, just like the 62. Just give it a squeeze, tightens right in there, closes nicely. It is sandwich construction. Show you that. Nice sandwich construction with block spacers. Now this thing is pretty heavy. That's been one thing I hear over and over, 6.39 ounces. So fairly heavy on this blade. The handles are made of stainless steel, and the blade steel on that Bowie blade is D2. Get you a nice close-up there. This is a first production run. Very cool look to it. And you can see it's got Zen pins there in the handle. Very smooth. That's one thing about these Benchmade 60, 62, 67, all of those, as well as the 63. Just very smooth. Now these do cost quite a bit of money. These are $222 currently on BladeHQ.com. So they are pretty expensive, but just the comparison with lower end butterfly knives, Balisongs, it's incredible to see the difference. It's a difference you can see, it's a difference you can feel, and in years to come, you will definitely know the difference between a $15 Balisong Chinese knockoff and a Benchmade. That's the bottom line there. So anyway, fairly heavy knife, but pretty cool. So remember that 63 is a Bowie blade. Let's take a quick look at the 62 right here. And this one was the first one to come out this year. It has that very nice Weehawk blade on there. Exact same specs, same everything on this knife. The only difference is the blade style. So just depending on what kind of blade you're looking for, the 63 may or may not be for you. Nice bevel on that Weehawk style blade on the 62. And then last but not least, in the 60 series is the 67 with the Tanto style blade. I love that little curve in there, kind of a recurve on that blade. This one just kind of looks ferocious to me. So probably my favorite in this particular line. But check out the 67 and the 63 together. Just different blade shapes. Everything else is exactly the same. They basically just slapped the handles on a different blade, and just to kind of give you more options, more variety in your choice. So those are those. Obviously, Benchmade, always made in the USA. It's got the Benchmade name on it, so completely made in the USA. So you're paying for that as well, to be able to have USA-made products. So this is the 63. I think I hit all of my points there. I'll show you in the hand. I wanted to measure a couple more things there. There it is in the hand. I'm not going to flip it. I'm not a flipper. I value my fingers way too much. Everyone always says, well, use a trainer. And I just think, you know, that's a gateway drug, guys. I value my fingers. I've got enough scars already. No, I really admire those who flip, but not the sport for me, I don't think. Anyway, so that's the 63. I wanted to show you quickly. Got my calipers here. The width of the handle, just under half an inch, 0.48. And then if you want to get really particular, one side of that on the sandwich construction there, 0.18, 0.16 of an inch. So just depending on how particular you would like to get. Show you in comparison to a tactical clothespin. We're going to start doing that as well, just so you kind of have a frame of reference. And one last thing for all of you who are very interested, check this out. We got this little grind measurement tool, and it isn't completely accurate. It's basically a guesstimate. So that basically tells you the angles. This one falls somewhere in between 15 degrees and 17.5 degrees. I'd probably put it more on the 16.5 side. So somewhere in there if you're interested in the grind angle. Now, a couple other things I wanted to show you. So the weight on this one versus, say, the Tachyon. Pull out the Tachyon. Check them out side by side. Benchmade 63 next to the Microtech Tachyon here in my left hand. Tachyon handles are a little bit longer. The weight on the Tachyon, 4.7 ounces versus the very heavy Benchmade 63 weighing in at 6.3 ounces. So definitely different styles. This one is also the Tachyon with the black blade. So I just barely saw this one today and I said, hey, let's throw that in the video. So that's what I'm up to. Check it out. Tachyon with the black blade up against the 63. Now we could probably compare these all day long, but I just want to kind of give you a quick look at the differences between them. Obviously the handle on the Tachyon is longer. The blade, just about the same. Blade length on the 63 is 4.25 inches, and blade length on the Tachyon is 4.5. So just a 1/4 inch difference there, not a lot. But you can definitely, man, I can feel that weight difference between the two of them. Dang, went over 7 minutes. That's what you get sometimes. I'll try to wrap this one up pretty quickly. But the Tachyon runs for currently $260 if you pre-order it on BladeHQ.com versus the 63, which regularly is $297. So they're about in the same price range. Basically, if you're going to get a good Balisong, you're going to pay $250 and up, guaranteed. The Alpha Beast is even more expensive than that. But for those who are looking for a cheaper Balisong made in the USA, we got the Kimura. Let me show you a Kimura versus the 63. And everything I've heard about Kimura is positive regarding, I mean, for what you get and what you pay for it, not a bad gig at all. This is a $90 Balisong versus a $297, almost $300 Balisong. So typically people get into it flipping on something cheaper. They move up to a Kimura and then up to, say, a Benchmade, Microtech, more of these expensive brands. So you kind of get a feel for them. The weight on this one, 5.4 ounces, still doesn't compare to the 63, weighing in at, what was it again, 6.3 ounces. And the length on them, about the same. Overall length on the Kimura, 8.8 inches versus overall length, 9.2. So pretty close in length. Not a bad knife by any means with the Kimura, also made in the USA. So if you're shopping around for Balisongs, this might be one to look at. The Bradley Kimura 7 on this one. Comes in several different varieties, that sort of thing. But as far as quality, value, that sort of thing, not the same as a Benchmade. And you can feel that. I can feel it just looking at them. I can feel it in, I don't flip them, like I said. But it's something that if you look at just the fit and finish on them, I mean, this Kimura, you can see just kind of some manufacturing dents in there. I mean, not bad. Not bad by any means, but it's definitely not a Benchmade. So you get what you pay for. But as far as flipping, I'm curious, what makes the difference between, and feel free to leave this in the comments, what makes the difference between a Benchmade 63 and a Kimura 7. What, as far as flipping goes, what makes one better than the other? I think that's probably more of a user experience. So leave that in the comments if you know the difference there. And last but not least, this is a budget flipper. This is a Balisong 114 with a Damascus Tanto style blade. And man, I can tell you, there's a huge difference between this blade, which runs in the $60 range, and this 63. From what I've heard, Balisong's not a bad place to start as far as flipping. You're obviously going to have to, this is not very smooth. Show you that. You're going to have to oil those pivots and get that going. This is channel construction versus sandwich construction. Channel construction meaning it's a milled out piece of steel here rather than two pieces sandwiched together. So, but man, I can feel it, I can see it. If you look there, that Balisong at 114 is actually hitting the side of the handle right there. So you obviously have to adjust it once you get it and make it work for you. But for 60 bucks, not a bad gig. That's the difference. You're getting a $300 knife that comes ready to go, ready to flip, beautiful, gorgeous, ready to go, versus a $60 knife that you're going to have to make sure that it doesn't fall apart on you. So, but not a bad place to start by any means. Balisong 114 with the Damascus blade on it, by the way. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to tell you. Just looking through my list here, no pocket clip. It comes with the case, obviously. So you probably don't want to see how it fits in the hand with gloves, simply because this is not for outdoor use. However, I would love to do a field test on a Balisong. So if anyone in the Utah area wants to do a field test on a Balisong and actually knows how to flip it, let me know, send me a PM, that sort of thing. I would get a kick out of that. Obviously, the Balisong not designed for actual field testing, but that's the reason I want to do it. So anyway, throw that out there. We'll see what becomes of that. Benchmade 63, thanks for watching, guys. We went way over the 7-minute mark, and I apologize. I'll try to cut these down in the future. Maybe compare fewer knives, that sort of thing. If you're still watching, thanks for watching. Be sure to buy this blade from BladeHQ.com.